Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sean, Brian, and Jeff. Today, we're excited to welcome Jameel Abraham as our guest. Jameel is a person of many talents, which include furniture, tool design, and production, iconography, and wrenching on Porsches, just to name a few. And oh yeah, he's also co-owner of Benchcrafted, which is renowned for their bench vices and woodworking tools. He's also one of the organizers, or conductors, you might say, of the upcoming hand tool woodworking gathering known simply as Handworks, which will be taking place on September 4th and 5th in Amana, Iowa. So welcome to the show, Jameel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Oh,
Good to be here.
It's great. Yes. And we're going to talk to Jameel about all he's up to in the upcoming Handworks event. But if you want to get more on his background, he was also on episodes 464 and 465, which I believe occurred right before the last Handworks. But we go.
I would believe that.
We dive a little bit into how Jameel got his start in woodworking and Benchcrafted and all that. So that'll be good for you if you missed that episode to go back and do that. But before we do that, before we move on, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain-enhancing, non-yellowing protection of tung oil, while reducing the drying time, allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker, and use code MWA25, that's the numbers 25, for 10% off your first order.
And we'd like to thank Sutherland Wells for their sponsorship of this episode. And with that, let's give our patrons a shout out. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yeah, we like to give our Patreons a big shout out. So today we're giving that particular shout out to Rich Harwood. And if you would like to join Rich in supporting us, thank you, Rich, by the way, you can do that by going to patreon.com/MWA podcast.
Yes, thanks so much, Rich. So let's move on to what's in the shop. So Sean, what have you been working on?
Mm-hmm. I had a work week in the lovely town of Laurel, Mississippi. If you've never been to Laurel, Mississippi, it's okay. Before that trip to that city, what I knew about Mississippi is that there was a river named after it, and that's about it. And yeah, it was whatever. It was hot and sweaty and definitely a stressful week. But I got back, and a day later, after work, I was over at my kid's house, and we're finally getting to the point of installing the laminate flooring he's picked out.
Yeah. Before you get into that, for any of our listeners in Mississippi or Laurel, Mississippi, that's Sean@gmail.com. Again, that's Sean@gmail.com.
It's SPWiz5578@gmail.com if you want to do that. But yeah, anybody in Laurel that didn't see me or hear me, because it's a small town and the plant probably employs most of them, for sure, hit me up. It's a quiet town. It's a small town. I took the guys bowling one night into this place called Country Barn Bowling or something like that, and I didn't know what to expect. I looked it up. I'm like, okay. Rain.
I hear they have both kinds of music there.
Actually, they were playing some kids musical something weird, and they were high schoolers running the shop. I have no idea. It was the weirdest thing, but it was literally this it might have had 15 to 20, it wouldn't be 15, 16 to 20 lanes. It was just nothing. And me and a group of 6 other guys, only of which a few were actually bowling, we closed the joint down at 8:30 at night. It was just empty. It was the weirdest thing. And the drive from the hotel to there passed about every chicken serving fast food restaurant that you can imagine.
Ooh.
And you got your Zaxby's, your Chick-fil-A, and everything in between. That is at least exists in that particular part of the South. But yeah, the drive from New Orleans. I learned how to say New Orleans by. You don't say New Orleans. You don't say New Orleans.
No,
I said New Orleans. I got corrected. It's you say
New Orleans,
but you lose the R. You New Orleans.
Yeah,
New Orleans. It's 2 syllables, but Orleans in the end there. But anyway. That drive was interesting because, from the Midwest, highways are highways and elevation is nothing. And so you can see everything as you're going. Mm-hmm. That most of that drive until I got to the Louisiana border, it was nothing but tall pine trees. And I couldn't see a sign, a gas station, a restaurant, nothing on every exit. They were gone. I don't, and it was a major highway, whatever the major highway that stretches up Mississippi from
Yep.
Louisiana, but across the what is it, Lake Pontchartrain? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it was a week. I drove a Volkswagen for the first time in 20 years. It was very nice. But no, anyway, so then I got back, and the upstairs of this old house is getting to a point where it's been painted and now it's boring. And so 2 solid days of the weekend, I'm up and down off my knees. And as an upper 40-year-old, that is, you feel that the next morning. But and then also 100 and where are we at now? 108-year-old subfloor that is cupped, and I had to screw things down so they were stop squeaking. It's a challenge, to say the least, to get things to run in there. But flooring is done in a room, a hallway, a closet, and part of another bedroom. So it's
Now to get like a certificate of occupancy or anything like that?
no,
Okay.
no. I mean, he bought it like a house. He's got a mortgage.
Okay. Just wondering. Since
Well, no,
y'all
I think
taking it down, because I assume y'all have inspectors coming in and that kind of stuff, or not?
No, so it was inspected and okay, and then
Oh,
we
okay.
opened the walls and found absolute crap construction, poor wiring, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All this work has been done after the sale.
Okay. Understood. I thought maybe y'all had to pull permanents and that kind of stuff to do all that.
No, I will when I get to the exterior, because I think I'm going to
Okay.
raise the roof up in one section, but that's coming. That's down the road a little bit. But no, it's nice to get a little bit of fit and finish going in there. Talked to him today about what trim he's going to start putting in, and we're getting to the point of close to livable, very close. But still being the downstairs is still an active, construction zone with a pile of drywall in the living room. But like, it's very interesting. Try to live in a house or do enough in a house before you live in it, and then live in it while you're still finishing it. Is kind of where he's at.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a mess, but progress on the list. And I will say I have a jigsaw, an old Bosch, like plug-in, not old, it's probably less than 10 years old, but like a Bosch jigsaw. And I rarely use it. And I'm actually not a big fan of that tool. I don't know why. Pretty pleased with my ability to cut a straight line through laminate flooring with that jigsaw. It's not the hardest material. It's not thick by any means, but there were some corners to go around and keyholes to cut out, and I was able to negotiate it pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, little tool thing there. But
I figured you'd be there with the coping saw, just getting after it.
I don't know how many blades would I snap? Because this stuff is like 12 mil thick. It's not the thinnest, like flexible stuff. It's actually got some oomph to it. And actually some of my I'm just using like a 7 1/4 circular saw for most of the straight cuts, but then the jigsaw for the others. I'm getting sparks every once in a while. So I mean, there's some nefarious materials going on. Trying not to breathe any of the dust that it kicks up. But yeah. Anyway, that's all fun and good. Brian, how about you? What you working on?
Got a couple of small things going on. Did some additional trim work in the wife's office. That's kind of at a stalemate till I get some other things done here. But took 2 trees down at the house recently. Had one that got so big the trunk split into 2, like a V. And so it was either take that down or have next winter's ice storm take it down for me. And the other one, unfortunately where we live, there's a thing called a spotted lantern butterfly, which entered the country about 4 miles from where I live. So those little suckers totally killed this tree, and it was just looking absolutely terrible. So we decided while we had the stump grinder to just go ahead and take that down. Unfortunately, when I took the tree down in the back of the house, I was about 2 inches off my calculation. And when the branch came down, it kind of shaved the light off the back of the house. So I gotta get a new light for back there. The door's fine. There's a big glass door that it just missed. I thought I had plenty of room. And then on the other tree, the chainsaw actually kicked back at me a little bit at one point, and I put my right hand up from the lower side of the saw to just instinctively to try and protect my face, and it went through my glove as it was slowing down. The safety kicker stopped the blade.
Right.
Thankfully, I got really, really lucky. It was a pretty deep gash, but it didn't need stitches. It just bled for like an hour.
Brian, holy.
So, but it was, and like I've been in the operating room. I fixed these.
I was
I'm
about
like,
to say,
"Oh."
could you
I'm
yell,
like,
is there a doctor around? Oh, wait a minute, I'm a doctor.
there's two vascular surgeons that live right next to me. I'm like, I'm gonna have to call one of these people. They're gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, thankfully I got lucky. The glove took some of it, but that kind of slowed things down. But tree's gone, stump's gone. We just have a little bit of debris to clear. So it's a long overdue project, but I'm glad it's out of the way, and thank my lucky stars that I didn't get kind of baggered up more than I did.
Yeah.
No
Jeez.
kidding.
You got to hang
And
that
then-
glove up like a trophy, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a reminder.
You
one of
can
the
put it next to your, your blade from your saw stop or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. And so the other thing we're working on is, if you've been kind of listening, I bought one of these robotic lawnmowers, and this thing finally showed up. It is big, like real big. It's probably 3 feet long.
So you're moving from a Hobbit house to a Hobbit barn?
Well,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah. So it's 3 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, and probably a good
Yeah.
18 or 20 inches high. And it's
Oh, wow.
Wow.
it's much bigger than I anticipated. So I'm like, all right, this house has to be bigger. But in my neighborhood, there are 7 engineers, and somehow word got out what I wanted to do, and they had like a council meeting, like how we're going to operate these doors. And there's different camps. One guy wanted to do high-speed linear actuators. One guy wanted to do commercial rollers that you would see on like assembly lines, powered rollers.
Mm.
One guy was like, oh, we could do this RFID. So these guys are just all like throwing out ideas. And then the one guy finally said to me, he's like, when this thing's going to go out, right? I said, yeah, it's on a program. He's like, just use a normal linear actuator and open the door a minute before it goes out, and then have it shut it a minute after it leaves. I'm like, dang it. That's
Brilliant.
Because we were trying to figure out how to get this thing to open the door when it's starting to back up.
Yeah.
Because
The only problem is when it's coming back. If you don't know the exact time it's coming back.
Yeah, that is true. But at least I can open it. The app tells me when it comes home, so I don't know if I can figure out some way to use that as like a like an automation.
Right.
The app says, hey, this notification says it's home, signal the door to close. So but yeah, I've got the spot mapped out to kind of prep the ground a little bit.
I think you should be able to do something like that on like Apple Shortcuts or something.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I told my neighbor, the gamer guy next door, he's all excited for this thing because he's got to stare at it. So yeah, just trying to get the yard into shape so we can unleash this thing. You got to map it. I only want to map it one time. So yeah, it's let's see what else is going on. Clean up the shop. I donated a couple tools to my daughter's school recently, just trying to get some more floor space. She's kind of asking me in the fall if she can borrow my Shea horse, because they're going to do a lot of spoon carving, make it easier for the kids to work on the handles and stuff like that. So a lot of little stuff going on. Not nothing dramatic other than trying to take my finger off.
Yeah, don't do that.
Jeff, how about you?
Not too much. I just been at work the last 6 weeks. We had an outage going on, so just any free time I had, just been working on making some new story sticks. So that's really about it.
When's your tour of duty up there?
Sunday. I fly out this week.
All right.
So I'm done. So I'm anxious.
Do you get a little extra time off than the normal?
No. So I just do my like normal 2 weeks on, and then when my normal time off was, the outage was, now I'm on my regular 2 weeks. So then I'll leave. But the next time I come back, I'm coming back with my son Copper. He'll be with me, and so I got 3 charters set up for some fishing. So I'll be taking a few days off here and there to take him fishing. And I did pick him up a little cheaper bicycle so he can run around town and stuff. So Valdez is somewhat of a rural area. So
Yeah.
At this
yeah.
point, are you just flying for free?
No, there is no flying for free.
Okay, all right. Just guess. I mean,
but I definitely have enough perks where I would say it's somewhat enjoyable to fly, but
sure,
all that kind of good stuff that kind of comes with it. But yeah, it's definitely it'll never be free, but there's definitely some accommodations that comes with it for flying that much. But
I was gonna say you travel once or twice a month, right? Like you're going up there
Yeah, going up. But
from
I do 2
Nashville
weeks
to
out of the month,
Alaska, 2 weeks every month. That's a lot.
2 on, 2 off.
There you go.
Yeah, good times, lots of laughs.
Yeah,
So
nice gig you got. Pretty nice.
yeah, what do you got going on, Kyle?
Not much. Well, much is I'm becoming like I don't know. I'm headlong into 3D printing stuff. So since I got my 3D printer, I've been printing some stuff, been working on some stuff, some prototypes and stuff like that. And I'm really starting to understand all the different materials you can print, their limitations, all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's been a learning experience and it's been interesting. I think the major thing I'm working on right now is kind of a new prototype for a new idea for a center finder. So finding the center of your legs for stretchers. I have one built in, I have an accessory for my stretcher drilling guide that helps do that. And I want to look at doing something little bit, well, it'll be a device where you can mark both stretchers at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm working on that. I have some ideas, some designs. So I've been doing a bunch of printing and a bunch of hardware type stuff. It's like, getting in hardware. It's kind of fun. It reminds me back in the old days when I was first starting to do these jigs. I'm on like McMaster Car and Granger at 2:00 in the morning looking for stuff that might work, ordering it, getting it in. Nope, got to send that back.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. With that, Jameel, what are you working on in your shop?
Building a Roubeau workbench right now. Not a split top.
Okay.
One top. A good friend of mine that I've known for probably a decade now has always wanted to build a bench, and he's a professional mechanic, so he's helped me many times over the years.
Right.
So, well, how much do I owe you? And he's, well, maybe you can just throw some vices my way one of these days, or help me build a workbench. I said, that'd be great. I like to barter. That sounds like a good trade. So back in 2000, August of 2000, we had a storm blow through Cedar Rapids called a derecho.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'd never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what's a derecho? And it turns out it's like an inland hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 45 minutes of 140-mile-an-hour winds tear through Cedar Rapids and about, a dozen other towns, north of I-80 here in Iowa. And we lost, they said, 60% of our trees in the whole city. Wow. So there was we were thick with wood. And I think Matt Cremona actually came down and got this massive cherry tree that was 4 feet across. And there was a lot of wood being harvested in the COVID year. So this hickory was on his property, and he felled it, and he bucked up what the wind blew down and milled it up. So it's been drying all these years. So
so you're building a bench out of really dry hickory.
Yeah, dry hickory. So, but it's
fantastic.
Still, I haven't worked with hickory much, but he sawed them they're almost 3 inches thick.
Wow.
So the laminates are, we only got maybe 10 laminates to build a whole top.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, this stuff is just it's sticky on the joiner bed for some reason. It's, how cherry can be kind of sticky when you plane it on the plane sole. This stuff just does not want to move over the joiner bed for some reason. So it's kind of a struggle to get it dressed. But last night we got all the boards jointed, and then face jointed, and then edge jointed. So now we just got to plane them to thickness and width, which will go pretty quickly. But yeah, that's what I've been working on the past few days here. So
wow,
it's a fun project. Yeah, it's funny how I met this guy. I just kind of met him through a friend of a friend. And he says, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, we're kind of into woodworking and a little bit and tools. We don't like to showboat." He says, "Well, I'm kind of getting into woodworking myself, and I want to build a workbench, and I found this company called Benchcrafted, and I really like what they have. He says, you know about this company? I says, well, yeah, kind of. Well, that's us. My brother, Father John, was there too, and we're like, yeah, that's us. And he's like, what? I was right here in Cedar Rapids, so it was pretty fun stories.
That is nice. So how long's this bench?
Well, the boards are little over 8, but
Okay.
he didn't dry them as well as he could have. He was kind of green, no pun intended, when it came to drying these. So they sat outside for a while. They weren't under a cover or anything, so they got wet and they got sun and then wet again, and so there's some checking, but I think we'll end up at probably around 7.5.
Okay.
With maybe some epoxy here and there to kind of keep things together.
Okay. Just don't let Roy anywhere near that if you're epoxying something.
Well, what's the story behind that?
Years ago at Woodworking in America, Chris Wars had just built this cherry Rubo, and the back end of this bench was a little punky, so he filled it with epoxy, and then during one of the classes, Roy just hit it with something, and the whole corner of the bench just
I remember that was a while ago.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
sure. That was hilarious. But anyway, well, speaking of events, let's talk a little bit about Handworks. So tell us a little bit about this year's events, venue, exhibitors.
All right. So as you know, we did Handworks 3 years ago, but there was a gap between Handworks. I think it was the third Handworks we did, and then the previous one of
the COVID gap.
7 years. So it just kept getting pushed off and everything. So this one was a little bit, I'll emphasize, a little bit easier to organize, because we could just like go back 3 years and say, okay, everybody, are you in? Same spot pretty much, but it kind of ballooned up a little bit. So we have 23 new exhibitors coming, and for a total of 80 in all, which is the most we've ever had for a Handworks. So 5 venues: the Fest Hall Barn, which is the sort of the main one, Greenwood Barn, which is across the street. It's like in an old, what the locals call the Market Barn. It's kind of an open air, open front barn. And then we have tents set up there too to accommodate even more people. And then we have the furniture shop has been kind enough to open up their facilities to us again. And and then now we're going to put a tent outside that place too, for even more exhibitors. And then we have Amana Timber and Tools, which is a hardwood, local wood retail store for selling local hardwoods. So Amana Forestry is its own kind of separate entity in Amana, and they have thousands of acres of hardwood forest. And the man that operates it, his name is Tim Kraus, and it's pretty amazing what he does, because they really only go into the timber and harvest trees that are nearly dead or already dead. And they get some amazing wood out of that place: walnut, cherry, white oak, red oak, hickory. There's a huge variety. So that's Amana Timber and Tools is kind of connected to the furniture shop. So,
and those are all forested areas near Amana, correct?
Yeah, out in it's the Iowa River Valley. So the forest area along the river. Yeah. And then they just kind of remodeled part of the basement in the the Fest Hall Barn.
The Fest Hall?
Some of you might get that.
I didn't realize there was a basement. We were there 3 years ago.
The Alamo.
Yeah,
that's where Pee Wee Herman's bicycle is kept, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
So they remodeled part of the end of the basement. There's a bar down there, so there's going to be local beer on tap for the whole event all day long, both days.
Oh, how could that go wrong?
Sorry?
I said, how could that go wrong?
No, a number of ways, but
yeah.
Sean, it's
hope the cameras are rolling.
Exactly.
No power tools.
No power tools. It is hand tools only. So
no power tools. Strict rule there. No power tools. So no routers, None of that stuff. No power drills. Oh wait, we like power drills for drilling the pennant, mortise.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, anyway. So yeah, what's new? Maybe that was your
Yeah. What? Yeah.
So like I said earlier, the tent outside the furniture
Mm-hmm.
shop is a new thing for us, just to accommodate some of our new exhibitors, vendors, demonstrators, what have you. So this year we're kind of going back to the first Handworks, and Chris Schwarz is going to be our presenter along with Mike Seamson Saturday morning. So I don't know which of you guys were at the first Handworks. This was sort of right when Lost Art Press was researching for the Studley tool chest book. And they gave Don Williams and Chris, and they gave a big presentation. Narayan Nair was there with all of his photography, and they gave a beautiful presentation about that tool chest. So it will be very interesting to see what Chris and Mike have dreamed up for the presentation Saturday morning. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That should be. Those are some characters right there. Both of them.
Yeah.
I have my Mike Seamson School of Work T-shirt somewhere in a drawer that I'll make sure to bring from one of the Covington WIAs.
Well, you should not wear that shirt because, in the spirit of the naked woodworker and all.
I mean, nobody wants to see that.
It was
You got
pretty
that
hot in
right.
the barn.
Yeah, it was pretty warm in the barn. Let's hope for a little better weather this year.
Don't mention the weather. The weather has always been dicey at Handworks. I mean, I think the first time we did it, we used to do it in May, like late May, early May, or early May, I think it was the first one. And it was like 45 degrees that morning and rainy, but it didn't keep anyone away. It was super busy. So it is what it is. It's Iowa. If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, right?
Oh, we say the same thing in Ohio.
Yep, exactly.
Midwest, man.
It's just a day later.
And now,
that's true.
for any of our listeners that are interested in attending the event, so what kind of accommodations? How much does the event cost? Is there any cost? What does that look like?
Well, the event is held in a very small village in eastern Iowa called Amana. And Amana was a communal series of villages that was founded originally in what is now West Seneca, New York, which they called Ebenezer. These were German immigrants, and they were fleeing religious persecution. So they set up their community in what they called Ebenezer, New York, which is very close to like Niagara Falls area. And they thought back then, this was like 1820s, 1830s, the modern world was encroaching on cramping their style, I guess. So they moved to Iowa, and they set up a series of 7 villages along the Iowa River Valley. And Amana is the main largest village, and that's where we have Handworks every year. So accommodations are mostly small bed and breakfasts. There is a brand new, relatively new hotel called the Hotel Millwright, which is in Maine, Amana, and it's called the Hotel Millwright because it was remodeled and sort of repurposed from the old millwright and woolen mill buildings. And the woolen mill is actually still operating in part of the complex. So it's a kind of a small boutique hotel, but very, very nice accommodations, restaurant. There's a whiskey bar. So you should hit them up if you're thinking about coming to Amana to attend Handworks. But close to Amana is Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Williamsburg. It's Iowa countryside. So the drive from Cedar Rapids is like 20 or 25 minutes through, cornfields and that sort of thing. So super easy access. I forgot what your other question was.
The cost for the event.
Oh yeah, the cost for the event, it has always been and always will be nothing. It's free attendance.
Which is outstanding. I can't believe how y'all are doing that, but that is fantastic.
Well, it's free for attendees. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But no, we really, as Benchcrafted, we really didn't set out to start to have an event. It's not really something we wanted. We just wanted to attend an event.
Mm-hmm.
And in the early days of sort of hand tool centric events, there was one sort of landmark event that happened, and we were like, oh, this is great. They should do this in Amana, because Amana's got this old German heritage and a furniture shop that's been doing, building furniture the old ways for 150 years. And what a great place to do this. And nobody was interested in it. So we grew up here. We've been going to Amana since we were kids, going to, dinner on Sundays with the family and the grandparents. And we're like, how hard can it be? There's a beautiful old big dairy barn here, and the people are friendly and warm and welcoming. And let's just get on the phone and send some emails out and say, hey, Lee Valley, hey, Rob Lee, Tom Lee Nielsen, you guys want to come? Chris Schwartz, all of these, all of our friends in the industry, basically like, hey, you want to hang out for a weekend and play with tools? And that's really all it's ever been. So we organize it as absolutely minimally as possible. And we wanted to sort of have that kind of grassroots, just like a bunch of, friends hanging out.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why it's free too. It's the commercial aspect of it is way down the line, So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a fantastic event, and it does throw off that vibe of, just like-minded people getting together to, share some time, play with some tools, and have a good time.
It's always a blast.
And you're right. Everyone there is all the locals are extremely friendly and welcoming. I remember what was the last time? I don't know if I told you about this, but we were getting hungry, and the food trucks, I think the second day there wasn't a food truck there, or it already left or something. And I went up to the little information to go, hey, where's a place where we can go get something to go? And there was a lady whose husband works at the furniture place, and she goes, oh, you don't want to eat anywhere right around here, it's too expensive. Here, I'll take you over to this little village. So she took me over, did a whole tour of all the little villages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff. She goes, well, we called in the hamburgers. Oh, they're going to be ready in 20 minutes. So let me give you a little tour around this. And then we picked up the burgers, and she brought us back.
That's Iowa for you. That's what Iowans are like.
All we got were burgers that had seen the road and a story about some stranger picking up Kyle. So
Kyle hitchhiking.
Yeah, you just hitchhiked and got us food. It was great. Great.
No, that was just wonderful. So anyway,
so definitely come out to Handworks this year, because you never know when it's going to happen or not happen again.
Yeah.
So dangle that carrot. Jeez.
Yeah, that's right.
When do you start planning for, like, are you starting to plan now for the next year or
next
No,
one?
we don't. Like I said, we don't have any idea if it's ever going to happen.
Okay.
You just gotta read into that little smile there.
I'll just say, leading up to it, it's always unknown. But the week after it ends, we're like, yeah, that was fun. We like.
Yeah. When can we do it again?
Yeah. That's the way those things usually go. But and I appreciate y'all putting it on. It's a ton of work. I know. I used to have to put on small events when I had a day job, and it's a ton of work.
It's a lot of little things. It's a lot of little things that add up. Yeah. Worth it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway,
we got people coming from Australia, Europe, France, England, China, Japan. It's like an international event now. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I was just reading through the list, and it's long. Long. And that's just the vendors. From all over. Great to see Wilbur there. Dave Jesse.
Yeah, Wilbur is coming back. Yeah, or Will is coming.
Yeah.
Has he ever been? I don't think he was. Oh, he wasn't there last time.
I don't know if he may have attended before, but he's got his own space this time. So we remember Wilbur from the early days of sort of the Lee Nielsen hand tool events and early woodworking in America. So yeah.
Yeah. And for those listeners, our Mark Hicks will also, for Plate 11, will also have a booth there, and we'll be hanging out with him and probably hanging out over at Wilbur's place too. So if y'all attend, please come by and say hi. I think I even got a banner I might hang up in Mark's thing.
Well, he's right across the aisle from you guys, so I can kind of let that little.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Perfect. That'll be great. That will be great. Well, let's move on to what's going on at Benchcrafted. Y'all been doing some stuff here lately. Y'all have check edge tools. Didn't y'all acquire those?
So Bob Zajac, the former owner of Check Edge Tools, who we've known for oh my goodness, almost 20 years now at least. He offered the business to us when he retired, so we took it over. And that was, I think, about 2 years ago. So we've just kind of refined and kind of freshened up the line a little bit. But the tools are, 99% the same as Bob was making them, because they were already at a really, really nice level of refinement. So very, very happy to have continued that from Bob.
Yeah, I think I have one. I have one of their. I think it was the Cadet marking knife. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I definitely have a marking knife.
Yeah, it's my favorite marking knife I have.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe 12 to 14 years ago, picked that up.
Yeah,
still keep it sharp. It's very nice.
Yeah, so we're doing. He was turning the handles out of all things wood, and we've kind of continued that. But now we're using a product called Liberty Wood, which is a dyed acrylic infused birch laminate product, and it's most commonly known as comp wood. These are all trade names: comp wood or diamond wood. Diamond wood was the most popular version of that, and for years we made our vice knobs of diamond wood, and then the diamond wood plant, which I think was in Pennsylvania, burned down. This was, I think, in 2018 or 2019. So a couple of other companies have started manufacturing the material, but it turns absolutely beautifully, and it takes on a beautiful finish and sheen just from polishing. We're not even using a finish on it.
Oh wow!
And it's really nice kind of heft in your hand because it's infused with acrylic, but. To the untrained eye, it just looks like a beautiful piece of rosewood. But then we also have dyed. Some of our knife handles are blue or other colors. Yeah, so that's where we're going with Check Edge, just continuing the line, and hopefully, as time permits, maybe offering a few more things down the road with that.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. A diamond wood. That sounds interesting. Is that something that your average hobbyist could acquire?
You can get Liberty Wood. Yeah, the diamond wood is not made anymore because that.
But Liberty wood, it would be
Liberty. Gotcha. Yeah, if you Google Liberty Wood, you can. They make all sorts of duck calls out of it. Bows, pool cues, all sorts of things like that. It's kind of a pain to turn because it's kind of like turning like epoxy almost. It's very hard on your edge. So probably best with insert tooling or maybe even a metal lathe, but I've turned it with high-speed steel. It turns okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. So what else is new? Check Edge, yes. So a couple of years ago, we started working with Sloyd Experience, and Sloyd Experience is actually a couple from Iowa that have started establishing Sloyd schools around the country.
Yeah. I think we had them on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They were at the last hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be in a year or two ago. But yeah. They were doing some teaching out of schools and stuff like that. They actually had kids would have like a 5th period class and it'd be Sloyd and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So they approached us to develop a workbench, a Sloyd workbench for kids. And that finally came to fruition a few months ago. So we did our first big run of those, and those went down to a school in Arkansas, the Thaden School, which is if you look that up, it's it's a kind of it's a private school, I believe, but they have a dedicated Sloyd program now. So we're super excited about that project.
So what's different in these benches? I assume they're shorter, of course. I would assume
they're shorter. So we make them in one.
Are they
height.
adjustable at all?
Well, we have a riser block that
Okay.
that you can get with the bench that will make it about, I want to say 33 inches high. So they're actually with the riser block, they're more, shorter adults easily be able to use that bench. And the riser block's attached with a screw and a hand wheel, sort of like the old LaForge Royale benches from that famous French catalog that many of us know about.
Yeah.
The tops on those benches were attached with screws, wooden screws that would run up through the upper short rail on the end assemblies into the tops and then hold the tops down. So we've kind of reversed that and done that for our riser blocks. So they're very quick and easy to raise and lower the bench and very secure. So a couple of different heights. So if you get one for your son or daughter or grandchildren, you can kind of get the riser blocks and then raise it up, and it can be used for more than a year, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the thing with kids' benches. They're kind of a short-lived thing. I've built a few of them over the years, but I think these have we've worked with Luke a lot on determining the height on those to kind of cover a broad range of kids' ages. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is really, really cool.
I've been dying to ask you this question.
Yes.
When's the carving vise coming back?
It is. It's coming back.
You should ask.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, you haven't checked
Nice.
Instagram lately?
No,
There-
well, I do, but
They're in the works right now.
okay.
Fingers crossed we'll have them for Handworks
Nice.
in September. So they're supposed to be done early July. So unless something falls through there's a lot of parts in these. So there's always
Yeah, there is.
But, they're definitely in the works.
Okay. Cool deal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
last time you had
excited.
him. Last time you had them for sale, I bought myself one, then I bought two other kits as gifts, and then I still haven't put mine together. But I want to do a couple of them. I'll put them together.
Yeah. Find some special wood. That's what makes
For
it
sure.
really- yeah. I have a piece of lignum vitae that from Conrad Sauer that's like, it's like this. It's huge. And
Wow.
I'm gonna try to put one of those together and have it at the show.
Oh, nice.
Maybe somebody will buy it.
I was about to say, so what would you charge for such a thing?
Well, that's another funny. A few years ago at one of the Handworks, I did a high vise in Macassar ebony, and it was gorgeous. It was just a one-off. It was gorgeous, and I don't know, I screwed up a decimal point or something, and I sold that thing, and we took a loss on it.
Oh man.
Yes,
Man.
some guy got a really sweet vise for a really sweet deal. So what else, eh?
Yeah. What else going on?
We have another product that we came out with a couple years ago that I thought I might mention, and it's called the Seneca bench. And remember, I mentioned Seneca regarding Amana colonies, and the Seneca bench is based on old church benches that are in. This is like a bench to sit on, not a woodworking bench. These are based on the old benches that were in the Amana churches. So the Amana colonies, they were a religious group, and they had a church in each village, and they brought these kind of staked benches with backs over from Germany with them, and then they built more when they were in Ebenezer, New York, which is now West Seneca, which is why we call the bench the Seneca bench. And these had a very cool kind of knockdown batten and through tenon arrangement that ended up being extremely strong. I mean, these benches are still in the churches in Amana. They're still used on a bi-weekly basis. They were built in New York in 1820s, 1830s, and there's even some stories that they brought some of them from Germany, and they're still in use today. And they're all, beautiful, white pine, one-piece boards for the seat, and you know, you got 150 years of, you know, butts rubbing on that thing, and you've got early wood's gone, the late, it's just like incredible texture. So we developed a shorter version, because some of these are, I've seen most of the churches are now kind of decommissioned, and I was taken into one of these churches, and the attic was filled with these benches, these old benches, and I saw the longest one that's still there in existence, and it's a 23-foot long bench, and it's, you know, all
Holy cow.
they're all just one board, you know, from
one board,
yeah, 23 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we did a 5-foot one that's a little bit more appropriate for the modern home, but
Yeah.
these look great in any setting. I mean, you could put them in a colonial house, you know, an old barn. You could put them in an ultra modern house, and they would totally fit in. They're surprisingly comfortable. I have, how many do we have in the house? I have 3 in our home, and my wife and I have, each one of us has one in the bedroom. Sit down on it, and, you know, put our socks on in the morning, and pile clothes on it, you know, because we're too late home in the hamper. You know, put one by the front, putting your shoes on, and throwing your groceries on. I love them. I think they're fantastic. So we offer those now. The tie-in with the Mana is pretty cool. We actually had last time we did Handworks, which is just a church down the alley from the Fest Hall barn. It's just, you know, like a half a block away. You can go in there and see all these old benches in person. So
yeah, those benches are really pretty. The first time I saw that, I thought I'd love for Jeff. I wanted to make one, but I would love for Jeff Lupkowitz to draw them up, you know, for plans for that. Maybe there could be something like that in the works. Maybe.
Yeah, we thought about doing that. Like our workbench plans, kind of offering a plan for the bench itself. And I've taught that class a couple of times now at down at Kate's school, formerly Kate's school in Florida, and that went really well. Yeah. It's a blast to make those. There's so many different cool things: mortise and tenon, sliding dovetail.
Right.
You know, Kyle's drilling jig is a pretty integral part of making that happen. And I don't know if you remember, Kyle, but you built a special one where we could do 2 at once.
Right.
Yeah, 2 legs at once on each end, and just dial in the rake and splay, and, you know, individually.
Yeah.
And that thing was like so sweet to use.
Well, good. I'm glad that works out, because I remember you called me on that, and I'm like, yeah, there's got to be a way to do this now. I got to reference it off something, and then I go, okay, I can reference it off the actual dovetailed what do you call it?
The batten.
The batten, the dovetail batten. I reference them off that, and should be able to do something. But yeah, that was a pretty wild looking thing. I'm glad it's still working out for you.
Yeah, they're great. I used your regular one just last week to build these. I built a couple little stake stools.
Yeah, those are beautiful
presents. Yeah, those were a lot of fun, and I hadn't used the jig in a while, and I thought, okay, how do I do this? Oh yeah, this is it. And bam, I had 8 legs mortised in and reamed, and a little tick mark on the reamer with a pencil, and I'm like, I didn't even have to go and finish them with a hand reamer. They were all just perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe one of these days I'll actually have a booth there, but I don't know if I want that kind of responsibility.
You're a smart man. That's one thing we always talk about, is that the vendors really don't ever get a chance to like just be an attendee.
Right.
There's things we've kind of done and toyed around with to try to make that happen, but it is what it is, you know. Maybe when one of us retires, we could do that. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, what is your most popular item that's at Benchcrafted?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, the thing that off the top of my mind probably is the Moxon vise.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a popular thing, and you don't have to commit to building an entire workbench to buy the hardware. It's always been a very popular, very, very popular item. But in all honesty, I'd have to do some actual math and thinking, and all that kind of stuff to really answer that question with any level of confidence. So, yeah, it's kind of, we've never been, we started this business kind of in an unusual way. I was painting a lot, doing murals for Greek Orthodox churches, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I thought, let's come up with something that I can do to make money instead of that. And I had helped a friend make what is now the mag block for his sister's wedding. And I made a couple of them. I think we used Cocobolo or something. So they looked really nice. And I thought this could maybe be a commercial product. And we came up with the name Mag Block, and we were like, what do we call this company? This was my brother and I, Father John. And we were kind of both into knives, like pocket knives. And we always liked Benchmade knives. It's really, and we like, well, that kind of got a cool ring to it, Benchmade. What about Benchcrafted? And that kind of stuck. And literally, the only product we had was the Mag Block.
Yeah.
I'd been woodworking for years, but I think maybe 3 years later, I had kind of like dialed back my woodworking internet kind of stuff. And I wasn't real, I go way back to the days of rec woodworking and all of those forums and stuff. And I kind of dialed it. I thought one night I was like, I'll get on the computer and see what's happening in the world of internet woodworking. And I stumbled on Chris Schwarz's blog when he was working at Pop Wood. And I went, and then I discovered Woodworking magazine, the ad-free black and white. And I was like, who is this guy? What is this? This feels like early fine woodworking, which is how I kind of learned woodworking. I'd check these books out at the library, and I thought, oh, this Roubeau bench. I remember that from the workbench, from Scott Landis's workbench book from when I was like just out of high school. And I thought, I'm building this thing. I have to build it, because my old bench was kind of just spindly and old and flimsy. I thought, this is the bench for me. And then I thought, there's no vices out there. What are we going to do? So I kind of got the synapses firing, and we came up with the tail vise, the wagon vise. And I was having an older man, a retired machinist, that made toothbrush molds for Oral-B. There's an Oral-B plant here in Iowa City, and he made these toothbrush molds for plastic injection molding. And a toothbrush mold has to be polished by hand, each half of the mold, to a mirror shine. So he has to machine that shape of the toothbrush out and then get in there with Arkansas stones and, all of that stuff and polish it. But it has to be so perfect each half that when the mold separates and the toothbrush gets ejected out of that thing, there's no parting line. So this man really knew his stuff. He was an old school machinist, and he made the first prototype tail vise, which is still in my bench, which I used yesterday, and it's still going after this was 2008. So it's almost 20 years ago now. So he made 3 vices, and I put them up for sale I was doing my own blog, just a personal blog back then. I said, anybody want one of these things? And sold those 3. And then it just kind of, took off from there. So it was very ironic that the company we started with the name Benchcrafted, we ended up making workbenches and bench hardware. So it was just, happenstance. So
I was just going to mention that. Yeah, that is amazing that y'all came up with that name. It's like before. Yeah, definitely meant to be. Wow, that is cool. That is cool. Well, so after all these years, what keeps you motivated?
Oh, I have so many projects I need to finish and just need to make for the house and for friends and family, and I'm still very interested in woodworking. I don't have to find motivation anywhere. It's still there. It's always still there. Chair making for me is sort of something I see myself doing as I get older and maybe when life kind of slows down, if it ever does. Just sitting in my shop at the Shave Horse, hand tools, shaving away and making chairs. Did a class with Pete Galbert years ago, and the chair I built was it was so great. I just wanted to build more of those. So there's no lack of motivation. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a better answer, but I'm so excited about woodworking.
Well, no, that's fantastic. Well, one of the things you mentioned is you started all this stuff to get out of making icons, but it seems like you're still pursuing that.
I am. The reason I started painting was so I could paint our church. My father's a priest, and my brother's also a priest. Dad's pretty much retired now. He's going to be 81 this year. So I started painting because we couldn't afford to hire an artist to decorate our church. So traditionally, the interior of Eastern Orthodox churches, and this is Russian, Greek, Lebanese, Middle Eastern, whatever it is, the entire inside of the church is frescoed, kind of like the Sistine Chapel, only we've been doing it for 1,000 years before that. So I got really interested in it, and I just started painting. And of course, word kind of got out, and the other churches in the area and across the country, oh, will you paint for us? And I'm like, well, I can make money doing this. So I started painting. Well, I wasn't painting for us anymore, which I was always doing just kind of as a donation. So painted professionally for years. We'd go to big churches and big domes and scaffolding and installs and all of that. And I thought that's kind of how Benchcrafted, came about. I wanted to find something else I could do, because if someone else's canvas was hanging up in my studio, it wasn't a canvas for us. So, but then Benchcrafted took off, and I didn't have time to paint for us either. So now we have more Abrahams in the family at work and doing things, and I find myself in the favorable position to be able to paint a bit more. So I'm hoping to finish up this project in the next few months.
Well, fantastic. Well, it's beautiful, beautiful work. I love every time you post something like that. It's great. My wife's Eastern Orthodox, so I'm very familiar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it's a labor of love, that's for sure. So thank God for the talents He gives us.
Yes, definitely. Well, with that, before I let you go, so what else do you like to do outside of woodworking? I know you got the Porsches. Anything else?
Oh, I have one old, almost 50 years old now. It's a 1980s air-cooled 911. Yeah, that is also a labor of love, because I can't afford to hire someone to work on it. I never thought it'd be a hobby. I bought it back when they were, more reasonably priced. I was either going to get a brand new Honda Civic or this, and I'm glad I bought this instead. But no, I need to do more fishing. That's for sure. I love to fish, but finding time to fish is tricky. That's right. Thankfully, we have some good farm ponds in Iowa with lots of big bass and other fun things in there. So
now someone in Valdez, Alaska. You can come to Valdez anytime you want.
I heard you talking about fishing earlier. That's something.
This is a short trip to the Northwest, just slightly.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
Do you fly fish at all? Or just
I haven't fly fished for a while, but I was really into it years and years ago. I'd made some trips up to the driftless part of Wisconsin and did some trout fishing there and bass fishing, really anything. But yeah, I love fly fishing. I actually tied flies for a while with my niece and nephew, and we kind of got into it, and they were maybe 7, 8, 9-year-old range, and they tied their own flies, and then we went out, and then they caught bass on the flies that they tied, and that was tons of fun. I loved doing that. So yeah. Are you a fly fisherman, Brian?
No, I don't. I have some friends that tie flies, as a hobbyist for others. I've never tried it. I kayak a lot, so I'm always close to the water, but I think just for me, fishing would be just a rabbit hole that I'm not ready to go down yet.
Oh, yeah,
Can be.
it can be that, but it's also keep it simple and it's super fun.
Well, if you want to go fly fishing, you need to go take a chair class from David DeYard, because I think like within a few hundred yards of his shop is like a world-class fly fishing river.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is he at?
He's in Connecticut, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like exactly. Like you have GPS coordinates on this great flight.
Yeah. I can get them for you. I can get them for you. Yeah.
Text him over after,
I will.
please.
But yeah. He always tells me about that. He has some people that take classes with him all the time, and they always time it right around, a good fishing season, because they'll be taking a class there, and then as soon as class is over, they're out there on the river.
I know what that's like. We did the French Oak Roubeau project down in Georgia a few times, and Bo Childs that hosts it, he's got a pond right across the street from the shop, and I was guilty of kind of ducking out a time or two with my rod. So
yeah, I can imagine. With that, Jameel, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Benchcrafted.com, benchcrafted.com, handworks.co, not .com, handworks.co. But if you Google Handworks, it'll pop up.
Yeah. And don't forget your Instagram there at Jameel Abraham.
Yeah, there's Benchcrafted's on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have my own Instagram, which I post to every now and then. Not so much anymore, but here and there. Yeah. It's just
you need to go out there and look at those two stools that you just did. Those are beautiful. I love the handhold in the middle. That's detailed work. Nice crisp lines on it. Very nice.
That's a handy thing. I mean,
it is.
Grab the thing with one hand and not, break your wrist and wrench it off. It's nice. It has other uses too that Chris Schwartz mentioned in a comment, but I'll let you find that.
Yeah. Your aim's got to be a little perfect for that. Anyway, well, with that, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. So I'll start us off. I'm just drinking the regular house beer, which is Guinness. Jeff, what flavor of sparkling water are you sipping on?
I have been sipping on some of the Death Wish coffee.
Coffee. Death Wish coffee. Yes.
Yeah. Death Wish. Yeah. High octane fuel. So,
you need that for the 6 weeks on. I mean,
yeah,
you got to just mainline that stuff, IV, something like that.
What about you, Brian?
Have you ever had Turkish coffee?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll keep you awake for a week. Yeah, that stuff's really potent. Yeah.
I've had Turkish coffee when I worked in Saudi. They have a Saudi coffee. It's kind of tastes of kind of a pine taste to it.
Yeah.
I've had a couple different coffees and stuff.
I've had Cuban coffee, which is just like brewed with straight sugar.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Turkish coffee is really, really potent. Like it's in almost like an espresso type size mug. And you usually get like a cube it's like a really sugary gelatin almost. So you take a couple sips of the coffee, a little bit of the cube, try and balance it out. But man, you're ready to go. You could paint your whole house, Sean. You hang all that drywall in a day.
We were drinking that when we were kids. My grandmother gave me that, so that's why I'm bald.
Yeah, it definitely bites into your gums. The Turkish coffee.
Yeah.
It's fun to give that to someone for the first time and have them like drink it all the way to the bottom and discover the surprise at the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom.
There at the bottom.
Yeah.
The sludge.
Like sludge, yeah.
The first time I had Cuban coffee, it was in the cutest little shot glass sized coffee cup. Like true ceramic with a handle, but my fingers couldn't get through the handle.
Yep.
But it was literally and that was it. And it was basically espresso with sugar. Like it was really, really rich. But my whole family had it and we enjoyed it greatly. Yeah, interesting.
It'll put hair on your chest, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah.
So Brian, what are you drinking?
Back to beer here. I'm drinking a beer called Green, like the color.
Wow.
It is an American IPA from Treehouse Brewing out of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's a really good beer. It's not.
Nice.
I mean, it's like 7% alcohol, but it's feels very light and actually has flavor. So highly recommended. Sean, how about you?
So I was. Where was I? Oh, we were at a little like a community store, and they have this local brewery that they sell their canned beers. And I hadn't seen this one before, so it's Inside the Five Brewery. It's a local guy. He went to Michigan State. He was a punter. He ended up playing for Miami
The Dolphins.
Yes. And so Inside the Five is a punter's term that they want to always punt it inside the five. And so this is a local place, and there's only like 3 areas around me that they serve this actually like fresh. They have a tap room at this point, but like a couple of restaurants anyway. But they make, like, I had not seen this before, but they call it Life's a Beach, and it caught my eye. I was like, oh, okay, fine. It's getting warm outside. It's been in the high 80s for the last couple of days. It's basically their version of Corona. It does say it's a Mexican ale with lime, so basically Corona. And I'm not a huge Corona fan, but it's interesting. It's fine, but very, very local. I highly doubt they even distribute it outside of the county. But good. Speaking of that, talking about Handworks, we should all try to bring. Well, I'm driving. You guys are flying, but
I don't know. It depends on what the airfares are. I haven't bought my ticket yet.
Okay,
so I might be driving.
I'll be driving.
I might be driving.
Yeah, Brian, if you end up driving, we should.
I'll swing by and get you. Yeah.
Yeah. You are going to come within 10 miles of my house. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I'll have to think about that. Maybe bring some of the Northwest Ohio offerings.
If I drive, I'll probably hit up Mark and maybe swing by his place and drive up with him.
Okay.
Yeah. Or he can drive up with me. Well, I'll probably drive up with him because he's got a bunch of crap to haul, which means I'll be helping him unload it. So I don't know.
And
we'll see.
You have an electric car. You couldn't even make it.
I can make it.
Ouch. A little jab. So, Jameel, what are you sipping on, sir?
I'm drinking Dragon's Milk from New Holland in Michigan.
All right. Mm-hmm.
It's a bourbon barrel aged stout.
Nice.
It's about 11%.
Oh yeah.
I had a Rattler before the show, so I've been pacing myself on this one.
Okay, that's good.
The Rattler has, that's like 2%, but
yeah. So listeners, you need to stick around for the 5 questions episode coming up. It get interesting.
Crack open a new one.
No, we were up. So I'm just outside Toledo, Ohio, which is a stone's throw from the Michigan border, and so I was actually in a tap room for them. Wow. I think in Grand Haven, Michigan. I think that's where it was. But like it's cool. Like Founders and all those guys that are the Michigan breweries. There's a couple of good little cities that you can like. I have reached to get the local fare.
Nice.
And Dragon's Milk, I'm a fan of. Good choice.
Yeah, it's good. I've had the dark bottle and then the blonde too. And they're both really, really good. I really like Belgian, Trappist ales or good German Doppelbock like Aventinus, Paulaner, some of those other dark beers I'm kind of into a lot these days.
Heck yeah.
I used to have a neighbor that his work brought him to the Netherlands a lot, and he would always go to the Monk Brewery and bring back Trappist beer. It was that stuff was so good. I missed that.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
The ones I've had, I only assume they're not as good as the real thing. Like they say Trappist, but I don't know how much makes that to my area, like truly for sale. Like if I don't have a guy that's going there and picking it up directly. But yeah, very big fan that those live enzymes that are just like that farm bottle. Oh yeah.
Omagong out of New York makes a lot of good.
Yeah, I've had some Omagong. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, good. Yep.
Well, cool. Well, let's move on to feedback. So, what do we have this week, Brian?
All right, so we're talking about episodes 606 and 607 when Brian Brace was on the show. Our first bit of commentary here is from Silver River Chairs, great friend of the show. He says, at Brian Brace, Fine Furniture is total badass, an exceptional human being. Can't wait to listen. And then our second comment here is from Thomas Pafk, P-A-F-K Design.
Yep.
This was great, brother. I very much enjoyed listening with a couple clapping emojis there. And then last one here is from G-Money. G-Money _077 says, so cool, with a couple exclamation points. If you would like to leave us some commentary, probably the best place to do it is on the MWA podcast Instagram. If you could also give us a 5-star review at your podcast player of choice, it will help get the show out in front of additional people.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.